Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at an article from the New Hampshire Union Leader. Now, this was published on August 12th. It's written by Kimberly Houghton, who's a Union Leader correspondent. Look at the title here. Nashua considers more stringent mask mandate that will deny services to customers in non-compliance. Now, I know this isn't going to appeal to, say, a mass audience. Not necessarily. I mean, this is my neck of the woods. But Nashua is an example of taking things to the fucking extreme. They truly are. Oh, God. Okay, you have New Hampshire surrounded by states with sales tax and stuff like that. You have Nashua, has Route 3, which has some people coming in from the Twin Cities area, like Lowell or whatever. I mean, Lawrence and Lowell, Twin Cities, but Lowell, okay? Mostly that area, over that part of the state of Massachusetts. Then you have Salem, which has 93, a major artery running right through it. So they get a lot more people than Nashua coming in for tax-free shopping. You have Plastow, which has Route 495, like less than a mile away, exiting in Haverhill to go to Plastow. You have, 95 with Portsmouth, which gets people from Massachusetts because it's the hoity-toity hipster area. You get people from crossing over from Maine doing that. You get people, crossing over from Maine to other parts of the state, but you also have Vermont too. So they're all crossing over, and they're doing it to save on like sales tax. Okay. Like Maine, I believe is 5%. I know Massachusetts is 5%. So they're saving 5 cents on every dollar in the middle of a pandemic. They're nickel and diming in the middle of a pandemic. All right. Nashua wasn't getting hit by that, but Nashua's gone like overboard with their shit. And New Hampshire, I think, has less cases per 1,000 or 10,000 or whatever it is than they do. And they've gone like full fucking psycho with this shit. Not only are they requiring people to wear masks out on the street when they're just walking and there's no one around them, they're requiring them to wear them every fucking place, and businesses, everything else. And I guess they had a situation where people aren't wearing the masks in businesses aren't enforcing it, and the aldermen got a little butthurt that, their authority was being ignored, so they decided to be like Cartman smoking crack with a small bit of authority, and they've now decided to increase things to where you will not serve someone who isn't wearing a mask, and if you do, you're fucked, and if they go into a place with and they're to do it, they're fucked. It's like, seriously? That's what you're trying to do? You authoritarian shitbags. That's the mentality that people should have with this, because it's taking it to extremes. I mean, no mask, no service. Nashua businesses will be required to refuse anyone who showed up without face covering under a proposed amendment to its mask ordinance, which already requires customers to wear masks while visiting retail stores, restaurants, and other establishments. So they're already required to wear masks. But now, because they know people are sliding their authority, they want to extend things even further and make it so that no shirt, no shoes, no mask, no service. Excuse the motorcycle. I got some neighbors who like their Harleys and should just be pulling in quietly. But no, as they're fucking pulling in. Assholes. Anyway, let's get back to the article here. No business and no employees of any business shall provide goods or services to any person not complying with face covering requirements, says the proposal introduced by the Board of Aldermen on Tuesday. No business and no employee of any business shall permit a person to remain on its premises in violation of these requirements. So now they're going to go after fucking businesses. The very same businesses that are hurting right now. They're going to go after them if someone shows up without a mask. They're going to go after them if someone chooses not to wear a mask and shows up in there and just, instead of just giving them what they want and getting them out the fucking door, which would be a lot easier to deal with. No, you got to be authoritarian shitbags, and you got to do what we tell you to do. And you have to treat these people like they're not human beings. You have to make it like they're not wearing a mask is like a scarlet letter. You have to do these things because we said so. This is what's going on here. It's literally like full mental retardation, okay? You never go full retard either, but they're going full retard because they're idiots. I mean, this is ridiculous. It would also require that all businesses open to the public, including service providers and residential and commercial buildings of more than 2 units, post at each public entrance a notice stating that face coverings are required. So not only do they want to dictate what goes on in businesses, they want to dictate what goes on in your fucking home. They're one step away from saying, okay, you got more than two residences in this, like a duplex. If you live in a triple decker, which, like a tenement home, okay, like the idea of what a New England tenement is, which there's plenty of triple deckers in Nashua and you know, what are considered quad units. They're basically two double deckers that have been put together as one bigger unit. They're going to make you wear masks in your own fucking place. When you even a place like that, okay, anyone who's familiar with the New England style tenements, like the idea of the quad units, because you've got two on the left, two on the right. They're going to make you wear a mask in the fucking hallway that only goes to your unit, because it's not a shared unit. I mean, those places generally have a door for the first floor on the left, a door for the first floor on the right, and then next to that, they have a door that goes up the flight of stairs to the unit above them, to the apartment above them. They're going to make you wear a mask in that type of shit with this one. This is ridiculous. Now, can we get technical with a triple decker tenement? Because the triple decker, the first floor usually has its own entrance and the second and third floor don't. I mean, you only technically have two units in that. Can you get away without wearing a mask? Of course not. They're not going to look at those technicalities. They're literally looking at this and they're painting with a broad brush, and they honestly think this is reasonable. This goes well past the idea of reasonable. When you're trying to dictate that someone's apartment complex or their condo complex, everyone and their mother has to wear a fucking mask in the hallways. Why don't you smoke some crack or a big fucking throbbing dick if you think that's reasonable? Because that is the only way someone would see that as reasonable, especially when there isn't that type of problem in Salem or Plastow or Portsmouth, for that matter. Hell, even Manchester doesn't have that problem, and a lot of people will circumvent fucking Nashua just to go to Manch Vegas. Oh my God. I mean, this is ridiculous. Visitors to any city amusement locations, including bingo halls, bowling alleys, and charitable gaming facilities, would have to wear a mask except while engaging or eating or drinking. Oh. So if someone has a drink on the table and they're over at one, Boston Billiards opened up one of those charity gaming, like their pool hall was like dying in Nashua, and they converted it to a charity gaming because Nashua wants its 35%. If someone has a drink on the table next to them and they're quote unquote drinking, they can get away without wearing a mask. Convenient little fucking loophole, isn't it? As long as they have a drink on the table and they go, I'm drinking, free fucking pass. So as long as you're gambling, they got no problems with letting it slide. How convenient. Same with bingo halls, because they make money off of that. That's a charity thing too. I mean, this is ridiculous. And who the hell bowls with a mask on? That's like completely asinine. So wait a minute. If you wear a bear hat while you're bowling and you have the straw in your mouth, can you bowl without a mask? I mean, technically, your drink is on you. You can literally be taking a sip while you're bowling. I want to see people use these ways to get around this shit, just to be like, fuck you. I seriously want that. Especially with Nashua overstepping their shit here. I mean, we're in New Hampshire. This isn't fucking Massachusetts, Masshole fucking Central. Although I know Nashua has a lot of massholes in it that transplanted, but hey. A committee will review the proposal before a formal vote is taken by the full board. Well, how convenient. Well, there have been more than 800 positive cases of human malware in the Gate City. The Gate City, because they got to steal the gateway of New Hampshire. You ain't the gateway to shit, unless you're talking about a rundown fucking shithole, because Nashua is a rundown shithole. The only really nice place in Nashua is a fucking gated community. Go figure. Or at least that's from my understanding. But anyway, so the Gate City, other cities such as Manchester and Lowell, Mass. And Lawrence, Mass. had significantly higher numbers of infections, said Mayor Jim Donchis. He attributed to the lower number to wearing masks. Really? Considering Salem gets more people from Lawrence than fucking you do, okay? Gets more people from Lowell, I'm sure, too, because we have better, I should say they have better shopping. Because Salem being on 93, has a lot of fucking shopping. Okay, you've got like what? A third-rate mall? New Hampshire's got like a first-rate mall. I mean, Salem's got like a first-rate mall from what I understand. Okay, Vegas's mall is better than Nashua's. You've got, hell, the old mall up in Newington, which was like the Portsmouth Mall, I think is probably still in better shape than the Nashua one, and it's probably a closed mall at this point. Because I don't think it ever recovered after Montgomery Ward left. Yeah. So, yeah, you're getting all the shoppers. It isn't Salem, Fuck you. That's so funny. Oh, we get all these people, and it's the mass that are causing lower things. No. Salem gets more people, massholes crossing the border. And their numbers are lower. And there's no mask mandate. So keep talking out your ass. We know that this helps to contain the spread of the virus, Dorches said Wednesday. Actually, that's complete bullshit. The University of Minnesota's CIDRAP or whatever it is posted an article from 2 experts that went through the data. And as far as they can see, they really don't do shit. They are more about the fact of security theater than actually doing something. Those are from experts, But hey, let's just ignore the fact that you had all these people calling for that article to be removed and some people calling for them to be canceled for posting that article because it goes against the narrative. Oh, I mean, this is ridiculous. The proposal comes as the city wrestles with a new school year, which will begin with remote learning. We want to get the case count as low as we possibly can, so the risk of spread in schools is as low as possible when in-person classes do resume, either in hybrid or in full, says Dorches. Added that there is a risk associated with the reopening of city schools. Now, here's the thing. You are literally treating people who have, very negligible risk, almost non-existent. They could fucking die like grandma. Holy shit, it don't work like that. The science about the human malware says it doesn't. The mayor said they have been concerns about people not wearing face masks inside some city businesses despite the existing mandate. So basically what you've had is Karen's calling up going, I saw someone here and I saw someone there not wearing a mask. Do something. Protect me. Be authoritarian shitbags for me. That's what you had. Admit it. Come on, alderman. Admit it. Admit it, mayor. Come on, mayor. You can admit it. Sue Newman of Charlotte Avenue said enforcement has been a problem. I was told by one business that their corporate position is that it isn't their responsibility to be enforced, she said. Oh, no. So a business decided to say, let people dictate. We're not, let people decide for themselves. We're not going to dictate to them. And this Karen got upset. I bet you if she was told to suck a dick, she'd suck a dick. And she'd probably like it, too. Although the city's ordinance adopted in May does not state a specific fine, no, they left it very vague and open specifically. I covered this back when they did this. Or at least I'm almost positive I know I at least put an article up on social media, or at least I think I did, but I'm 99.9% sure I covered this. They left it intentionally vague so that they could basically assess whatever fucking fine they wanted. So depending on how bad you pissed them off, they could assign you thousands of dollars. Or unless otherwise stated, $1,000. But they were going to look like they were going to use, if I remember correctly, they were going to use some bullshit things in the ordinances to fine more than $1,000. Although the city ordinance adopted the city attorney general is a violation of city ordinance. Okay, so specific fine. The city's attorneys explained that in general, a violation of a city ordinance carries a maximum fine up to $1,000 unless stated otherwise. Yeah, and you were talking about how you were going to fine people more than $1,000, so shut up. The fine is determined by the court, said Stephen Bolton, corporation counsel for the city, explaining earlier that no one is going to be arrested for failing to wear a mask unless the situation escalates. Masks are not required for children under the age of 10. Oh, bullshit, they won't arrest people. Bullshit. You will see like a Horton Coffee, type situation going on in Nashua at some point. I will put money on it. Some Karen will fucking spurg out, call the cops for a guy or a girl not wearing a mask, and then you're going to have some power tripping Nashua cop, all right, I'm trying to literally tackle someone because they weren't wearing a mask. It'll happen. especially with the way that they're enforcing this shit. The primary focus, city officials agree, should be on educating the public about the importance of wearing masks. So then maybe you'll actually teach them that experts have shown that there's no actual benefit that they can see. It really doesn't stop the spread of the infection. I mean, SIDRAP posted the article. 2 experts, like actual respiratory and infectious disease experts, said this after going through all the data and said that what, quote unquote, we'll say, quote unquote, science said that masks were good. They said the methodology was flawed with all of it. Their words, not mine. I mean, come on now. This is ridiculous. Flavia Martin, a public health nurse with the city's Division of Public Health, said Wednesday, there is now an average of about 4 new cases per day in Nashua compared to the 10 to 12 new cases a day the city was experiencing previously. Yes, and that's going down all around the country, including places where there aren't mask mandates, so you really can't say it's the masks. 96% of our citizens in Nashua are recovered at this time, which is amazing, said Martin. There are certainly 34 active cases in the city. They're doing this for 34 active fucking cases. 34! 34 people out of thousands have this. And they're going, we're going to make everyone wear masks. We're going to make it so that if you don't wear masks, and you don't enforce them wearing a mask, you're going to all be fucked. This is what they're doing with this. For 34 fucking people. That's some sick, twisted, demented shit. 34 people warrants this type of response? 34 people who aren't dying, that are perfectly fine, that are going to recover? Overall, 38 of the 41 deaths in Nashua associated with human malware occurred either at the Greenbrier Healthcare or the Huntington in Nashua, where previous outbreaks took place, according to Martin. Yeah. Do you know what those places are? Nursing homes. The 38 of their 41 deaths were people above the average life expectancy. They are doing this because 38 people, I mean, it's sad that grandma died, but I'm just saying 38 people who were above the average life expectancy croaked. And I'm sorry for putting it that coldly, because it is a tragedy. But 38 people in freaking nursing homes died. Which makes you wonder what the aldermen did in Nashua, because I'm guessing there might have been some shady shit like Michigan or New York going on. Just a guess. But you have this situation where 38 of the 41 deaths are elderly above the average life expectancy. And they're treating everyone like they're fucking prisoners. And it's comply or die. Well, not die, but you know what I mean. Comply or fucking feel our, wrath. She said 145 of the city's 808 positive cases have involved individuals connected to those 2 long-term care facilities. So basically, you infected grandma, I'm guessing, by your policies in the city, and now you're trying to play it like, oh, look at the good things we've done. Assholes. According to the Nashua School District's reopening plan, all students will be required to wear masks while in the classroom, and all teachers will be required to wear masks or face shields. Does anyone see a problem with that last part? Because when I read through this the first time, now normally I like to go through an article cold, but I was reading this one just to see how demented Nashua was getting and deciding whether or not I wanted to cover it. Because usually, say an article on Hillary's emails, oh, well, she doesn't have to give a deposition or something like that. You know when it's from Politico or whatever. Like I just did that, a video on that earlier. But when you do something like that, all right, you can go in cold because you already know what they're going to say pretty much. But when I looked at this one, I'm like, face shields? So they're going to wear those hard plastic face shields like you'd wear in like chemistry class or whatever else, like the people who had glasses or whatever or in shop class that couldn't wear like the safety glasses because like their regular glasses interfered or something like that, which provides absolutely no protection like a mask would, which doesn't provide shit for protection. And it's perfectly acceptable for a teacher to wear a fucking full face shield. Now this is what gets me. The students can't do that. But the teachers can wear a face shield, which ain't going to do shit. So you're telling me that this is about safety when you're literally letting the teachers skirt the fucking, ordinance that you're pushing by letting them wear a face mask that ain't going to do shit, a face shield. They really think people are stupid. This is why I covered this, one of the reasons why is because this is how stupid they think people are in Nashua. Oh, well, you and your kids all have to wear masks, but the anointed teachers, they could just wear a face mask that ain't going to, a face shield that ain't going to do jack shit. Ridiculous. Although city schools are reopening in a fully remote setting, there are plans to potentially transition to a hybrid model in October. Under the current Nashua ordinance, members of gyms must wear a face covering while entering or exiting the gyms, but may remove the mask during exercising as long as 6 feet of distance is guaranteed between individuals. Although masks must be worn while entering and exiting restaurants, they may be removed once diners sit down at a table. A face covering is not required for anyone who can show that a medical professional has advised that wearing a face covering may pose a risk because of health reasons. Slight problem with that. You cannot require someone to have to fucking have papers to show that they don't need to wear, that they shouldn't be wearing a mask. That violates the Americans with Disabilities Act and several other federal fucking laws. So you cannot have in your ordinance, well, you have to have a note from your doctor. They can just legally say, I'm medically required not to wear a mask, and then you just have to go pound sand. I so freaking hope that they go after someone who isn't wearing a mask and then say, where are your papers? And he or she sues the ever-loving shit out of the city. Because that violates freaking federal law to say, you need to show your papers on why you can't wear a mask. I need to see a valid medical reason. You can't do that. Nashua's mask mandate has already prompted a legal challenge. Yeah, because it's a friggin' authoritarian shitbag move. Last month, the Hillsborough County Superior Court judge denied a preliminary injunction in the civil lawsuit filed against the city by Andrew Cooper, a Nashua resident. Cooper claims city officials lacked the statutory authority to adopt its ordinance requiring the use of face masks while visiting local establishments and businesses in light of the human malware pandemic. And you know what? He might actually have a case. Because you actually look at the reasoning and logic. I looked into it a little bit. He could actually feasibly, with a legit judge that isn't going to just rule with the fucking state or the city in this case, he could throw a monkey wrench in their thing because they don't necessarily have in the city charter or whatever the authority to do this. I think it has to go to a vote or some shit like that, or I'm trying to remember exactly. But yeah, I mean, this is ridiculous. Nashua, New Hampshire's gone overboard. They really have. They've lost all touch with reality. When they're going to let teachers wear face shields, but they're going to make kids wear masks. And teachers are the ones at higher risk, which in theory you would want them wearing a mask than, say, a kid who's going to basically, at most, statistically, be a carrier, if that. Not even going to get the sniffles or anything like that, but hey, whatever. I mean, this is ridiculous. Anyway, I think I've covered this well enough. I'm going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.